Good morning student. Today we are going to see 7th standard social science history unit 3 emergence of new kingdoms in South India, later Cholas and Pandyas. In last class we seen later Cholas. Today we are going to see later Pandyas. Pandyas were one of the three ancient Tamil dynasties that ruled southern India since the 4th century BC. Korkai, associated with the pearl fisheries, is believed to have been their early capital and port. The Pandyas, king of the Sangam age, Madurai was a great center of culture. Poets and writers of the Tamil language gathered there and contributed to the development of Tamil classicals. The Pandyas had re-established their strong position in South Indian Tamil Nadu by the end of the 6th century AD, after eliminating the rule of Kalabras. After using the advantage of the decline of Chola powers. Pandya kingdom, Chera Chola Pallavas, and then Maravarman is identified with the Kun Pandyan of the prosecutor of the Jainisms. After the greatest of the dynasty was the Nedunjalian, and then the Nedunjalian expanded the Pandya's territory, included Tanjavur, Tiruchirappalli, Salem and Coimbatore districts. He tells that his port town was full of the ship from the Arabia and China and boosting with the business activities. Sundara Pandyan, king was Sundara Pandyan. He brought the entire Tamil Nadu under his rule, which extended up to Nellore in Andhra. He had the check. The Chera ruler, the chief of the, accepted this position and fort debuted to the Sundara Pandyans. And then he defeated Someswara Sundara Pandyan, succeeded in establishing the authority over the chieftains of Kadalur. The king appointed of the Veera Pandyan as a co-regent provoked the other son. Sundara Pandyan killed father Maravarman Kulasegaran's coin of the Pandya kingdoms. After the Pandyas kingdom came to be divided among the number of kings from the main ruling Pandyas family in Madurai, a Muslim state subordinate the Delhi Sultan came to be established. State Pandya kings preferred Madurai as their capital. Madurai has been popularly as the Kudal. The king was permanently received the Kudal Nagar. And then the Pandya derived mainly the advantage over their neighbors by means of their horse. They imported these horses through the Arabs with whom they had commercial and cultural contact. The king claimed that he was ruling according to the Monusista. These decreed that supported the social hierarchy in the society. And then royal official, a band of officials centered the royal orders. Administrative division. The Pandya Nadu is on a Chola state, consists of many provinces known as the Valanadus. And then village administration. Account of the village administration, it took similar to the Cholas local governments that included the village assemblies and committees. Both the civil and military powers seem to have been vested in the same persons. Irrigation, the Pandyas rulers created a number of irrigation sources on either side of the rivers Vaigai and Thamirabarani. Channels leading to the irrigation tanks were built. Irrigation works were done by local administrative bodies, local chieftains and officials, and then were mostly undertaken by the local bodies. Sometimes traders along duke out tanks for the irrigation. Religion, Pandya extended the patron and the Vedic practices. Sets were patronized through the land grants, tax expansion and renovations. The great Shiva and Vaishnava saints Narayana and Alvas combined the Noyanmos and Alvas contributed to the growth of Tamil literature and spiritual enlightenment. The great Shiva and Vaishnava saint and then Noyanmos and Alvas contributed to the growth of Tamil literature and spiritual enlightenment. Temple. Medieval Pandyas, later Pandyas did not build any new temples but maintained the existing temples, enlarging them with the addition of groups and mandapams. The Pandyas specially historic patronized and historic Meenakshi temple as a Madurai and kept expanding its premises by adding and mandabas. Trade. Arab settlement to the west coast of southern trade, 7th century. They are because the government of the east coast pursued the more liberal and enlightened policy towards the overseas traders. In 13th and 4th centuries, horse trade became a brisk. Conclusion of the lesson. The Chola Pandya are well-known Tamil monarchs. Vijayalaxmi received the Chola dynasty. The prominent Cholas rulers are Rajendra I and Rajendra I. And then Kudangon received the Pandyas territory. And the maritime trade and Pandyas are highlighted with the Marco Polo and trade. Today what we see? We see the later Pandyas, revival of the Pandyas kingdoms, and then Sundara Pandyans, rise of later Pandyas, policy and society, royal official, administrative division, village administration, irrigation, religion and temples, trade. The lesson is completed. I hope you all understand this lesson. Thank you, student.